What's up, YouTube? Back with another video on the Evo. Just kind of an update video, more so since we've finished putting it back together, basically. So, just doing a quick wipe down on the car. Nothing too crazy. She was a little dusty and dirty and still greasy in some places, so kind of deserved a little bit of a wipe down. But anyway, so updates. Got the car running on Saturday, this past Saturday. It's now Wednesday. Kind of been driving it around just a little bit, trying to figure it out again, make sure everything's good, trans is happy, checking for leaks, stuff like that, just everything. So I did film a part of this video already, but I watched it back over and didn't like it, so making another one, but not a big deal. So start from the beginning. Like I said, got it running Saturday, been driving it around. It's now Wednesday night. So first issue after we got the car back together was we didn't have our AFR gauge. So the AEM, AFR wideband gauge, no worky. It was just completely black, nothing there. So that took some figuring out on that part. I did end up getting it to work, but if you know about the AEM wideband gauges, they are supposed to read, obviously, what your air-fuel ratio is. And typically, roughly for this car, it's around 14.7, just at kind of an idle, and then it'll change as you're, letting off throttle, getting on throttle, stuff like that. So that was kind of important, but I haven't been beating on the car too hard or anything like that. Just, cruising it a little bit here and there and trying to shake it down. So it took some time, but ended up figuring out the power issue that we were having, and I pulled the wiring out from the gauge and was able to get a voltmeter into the pinholes, and I was getting 12 volts. So I literally kind of redid the ground, and then noticed that inside the gauge, one of the prongs, or actually the ground prong specifically in there, was a little corroded. So I took just a flathead screwdriver or pick or something like that and kind of scraped it out as best as I could, and then just kind of plugged it in, unplugged it, plugged it in, unplugged it, and finally got power to the gauge. Now, with that being said, when the gauge came on, it was missing some LED lights. So normally it's supposed to read 14.7, and it reads the top line of 7. So super cool on that part. Of course, the gauge is not warranted because I did not buy the gauge myself, so I will have to buy a new AFR gauge. It does look like the gauge is potentially working, as far as there's little LED dots all around it, and it kind of hovers in between that 0.7, 15 range, right around there. And I've noticed that. So who knows? I'm gonna have to get a new gauge regardless, and I believe they have an updated one from the one that I have. So I'm just gonna get the updated one in due time when I have money. So that was issue number one. Upgrade number one was a good old glow shift boost gauge. So if you see there in that vent, we've got a pretty sick little glow shift boost gauge in that vent bezel. Now, with that being said, don't think I plumbed it in right whatsoever. I feel like it's reading way too much boost compared to the access port, but what do I know? So we got to kind of look into that a little bit more. What else? So next issue, big one. The transmission, as soon as we filled it up with fluid, it started to dribble a bit from the mechatronics unit cover. And so that kind of sucked a little bit there, but I contacted Jack's Trans and sent them a video, and this was what I woke up to on Sunday morning. I'll put a picture in here for you guys. So anyways, there's definitely a kid's toy going off. Let me turn that off really quick. Where's the off button? Where? Right here? Perfect. So anyways, as I was saying, where was I? Transmission. It's been leaking. So I contacted Jax on Monday and called them first, told them what was going on, yada, yada, yada. Emailed them some pictures and stuff like that. And they were awesome. So thank you, Jax. I appreciate it. They ended up shipping me out a new pan and with a gasket and another liter of fluid on them. So that's going to get replaced. So get that done. Another big issue that we had that I have been chasing like all week, so since I put the car back together till today, Wednesday, is this clacking, clanking kind of noise coming from the passenger side wheel well. And don't know if it's resolved for sure yet, because I haven't driven it yet since then, but I literally just fixed it a little bit ago. And it was weird. Like, it could have been anything, and it could have been a mixture of things. Ball joints, CV axle, tie rod end, it could have been the bearings in the hub. It could have been anything in that wheel well. So went under the car. I was able to finally replicate the noise, I should say, without driving the car. And so here's the noise that it was making at a standstill. And, basically from there, I, freaking lifted the car up and just started grabbing everything because I couldn't replicate the noise when the car was just up on jack stands and me shaking the wheel. Like it wouldn't do it. So got it up in the air, put it on jack stands, got underneath and just started grabbing everything and just shaking everything to try to figure it out. So basically what ended up being the problem is it was the control arm. The control arm was loose. The bolt was loose. It was very loose on the passenger side and minorly loose on this side. And then a couple days prior to that, or I should say a day prior to that, so yesterday, I was trying to diagnose the issue, and I thought it was the axle. Like, I thought the axle wasn't seated all the way. So spent a bunch of time trying to figure that out. And when I was doing that, I saw that that subframe brace had a couple missing bolts and a couple loose bolts. So they either fell out or I was an idiot and forgot to tighten them. So that's very possible as well. So that's that. And then another big issue, and this one we're still in the works of resolving, but I think we will be able to figure it out, at least hopefully here. So, that's heavy. So the next issue is essentially that when I first test drove the car, it was running fine, like completely fine. And then, I went on one little rip by myself just to kind of shake it down, see how it felt. It ran great. Went and picked up my buddy, and then it ran great. Came back home, turned the car off for a little bit, took my dad on a quick little rip, ran great. Later that evening, I took my wife on a little rip, and immediately I could feel the car shuddering and stuttering and just basically cutting out all boost around anywhere from 7 to 9 PSI, just flat out dead. So it sounded almost like a machine gun. So it's doing that less now. I cleaned the throttle body. That was something that I did. I guess the first thing I did was I checked the coil packs, checked the spark plugs, cleaned the MAF sensor, cleaned the intake, and then from there, I ended up pulling the throttle body off because the throttle body was making this really weird, loud humming noise. And so I took that off and in the car, and that was absolutely not fun. But got it done, and so we pulled that off, cleaned that up. It wasn't bad or anything like that, just normal, you know, dirtiness. And so cleaned that up. That helped the humming noise, so that was cool. Don't have to worry about that as far as I've heard so far. But that stutter. So stutter still kind of remains. Now, what I have kind of chalked it up to, and this is fully on me, and I kind of had a feeling it was going to be a problem. Just didn't do anything, I guess, about it right then and there. But probably should have. Lesson learned, oh well. But the fuel that was in the car, we had almost a full tank. So not completely a full tank, but just about. Maybe 3/4, probably a little more, probably about 3/4, I'd say. It's fair enough. And and that gas was sitting in there for 2 years. So probably the problem, more than likely, I just filled the car up with fresh gas, got as much out as I could from the fuel tank, and we'll kind of see what happens from there. So put fresh fuel in it, and then I also put seafoam in it as well. So crossing my fingers, hopefully that will fix the problem. I do think soon, very shortly here, I might pull my injectors and take them or send them off to get flow tested and cleaned potentially. I'll probably also, once this tank's dry, I'll fill it up again, and I'll probably put some other fuel cleaner additive in it, so besides seafoam. But if you have anything that you recommend, by all means, please leave it down in the comments, because I'd like to try other things. I have used like the Lucas oil, you know, tune up in a bottle or whatever it's called, and I mean, felt like that worked fine as well as anything else. Another stupid little problem, and this one's just like the creme de la creme cream on the top, because it's so stupid. Worse than the gas thing, but little tiny oil leak, kind of ish. Been checking the oil and stuff like that, and I'm going to change it here in the next couple days. Maybe even tomorrow actually. But the oil leak is coming from the stupid crush washer on the drain bolt. So that's cool, but easy fix. Already got a new crush washer, got a filter ready to go, because my stupidness forgot to change the oil filter before I put oil in the car. But that filter that was on there, I know, was rather new, as far as like how many miles it had on it and stuff like that. So wasn't too concerned about that. So we need to slap a new OEM oil filter on, new crush washer on, and top her off with oil. But basically what I did was I left the skid plate off of the car. I do have an SSP aluminum skid plate for it that I need to eventually put back on. But I left it off because I wanted to check for leaks. So, anything I found in my garage, anything where I find, like, if I park it at work or wherever I might park it. And, I mean, it obviously worked. So, as far as issues, I feel like that's the main thing. I'm pretty sure did I talk about the clickety-clackety noises? Yep. So, definitely will be replacing ball joints, tie rod ends, end links, potentially wheel bearings just for peace of mind, and I'd like to do lower control arm bushings. Might just do full lower control arms, but yeah. And then I also want to repack the axles, because the boots on the axles are still good, but they definitely need to be greased up. Like they feel pretty empty in there. And then the rings, the clamps that are on the boots, that's like where I can see a little bit of grease coming out and slinging and stuff like that. So good old Amazon, we'll order that stuff there. Pretty cheap, not too hard of a fix, and then hopefully it'll save the OEM axles, and one OEM axle for $450 plus, sorry, but yeah, I can't do that. So if I do order new axles, they're either gonna be from like Rock Auto or probably Rock Auto. but not, yeah, OEM axle, that's ridiculous. So it's not like this car is pushing a ton of power anyways, you know. Yeah, it might not last that much longer, but an axle OEM quality on Rock Auto is like 75, 85 bucks for one side. So, and if I break that one pretty quick, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen when I'm doing anything or catastrophically, but then I'll just buy another one. No, not too big of a deal. But again, this car's not pushing a ton of power or anything like that. It's just a fun street car. So, with that being said, that's kind of where we're at right now with this. And she definitely needed a wipe down, so I'm just kind of giving it a quick little wipey wipe here. And it's looking pretty good after sitting for 2 years, I would say. It still needs some more loving. I used to have my own detailing business, and don't do that anymore, but I still have all my stuff. So here very shortly, not sure if I'll make a video of it or not, because detailing to me already now feels like work. So kind of trying to see if I enjoy it again still. So we'll see what I do there. But yeah, I mean, I'm super happy with the car and you know how it's doing. We just got to get that stutter issue fixed, and then she'll be solid. Once I do that and I get a new wideband sensor, then we'll probably tune the car. I think right off the rip, I'm just gonna retune it on Cobb, just so I know. Well, just so it's quick and easy. We'll say for me, because I've tuned on the Cobb stuff before. You know, doing e-tunes with my tuner and whatnot. So just to make sure everything's good. Plus the access port has a bunch of maps on it from like one of the previous owners, and it's super annoying because you know I kept it on the map from when I got the car, and yeah, I just want to get rid of all that stuff, get all my own maps on there. Probably just single fuel right off the rip, and then down the road we will probably do Tephra V3 or open source tuning, and just get this thing off Cobb completely, because I know there's some things that are quite a bit better doing it that way versus on Cobb. So I just want to get it off of Cobb and go that route. Plus there's some other fun things that you can do as well. Rolling anti-lag is maybe one of them. And who knows, maybe in due time. I've been really eyeballing the Civics ECU that they make for this car, the standalone. It's definitely spendy, that's for sure. So that's why I say like down the road, like a ways, like maybe after a motor's built and stuff like that, and transmission might be built again by that point too, who knows. But I'm gonna enjoy the car, I'm gonna love the car. I got inside the house right now the little gauge bezel deal that I'm working on, because that thing broke, and I think it was custom made by one of the previous owners, because the gauge pods are definitely PVC sprayed with something, but not too big of a deal. We're gonna try to fix it, and if we can't fix it, then that's one thing I'll just have to add to the list to get on the good old eBay or wherever I could find cheap, just because I do like having those gauges there, and then I do like that boost gauge there in the vent as well. Probably won't keep that boost gauge in there for too long. I'd like to just go with an AEM boost gauge so they all match. Plus, you can't really see that thing from where it's at. Like, it's the sun coming in and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I'll probably keep the boost gauge there. Do I need it? No. Do I want one? Yes. So I'm gonna do it. But I'm pretty sure that's it. Definitely missed it. Glad she's back and be able to enjoy it. The boys, my wife, will be able to enjoy it with me as well. Just little things that I would like to replace, and little things that I'd like to upgrade still. And now I can do that, and now I can kind of do some upgrade videos, maybe some servicing videos. You know, I still got this lip up here that I need to finish painting and get on the car. Really want to do that, even though it's not the lip that I ordered. It's a different one, but oh well. And I want to paint match that, so got to get paint or find the paint that I had. And yeah, we'll get that on, get the skid plate on, and she will be pretty much 100% complete from when she was just abandoned in a field for 2 years when I left her there. So she's back home now. We're gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna have fun with it, and we're not gonna break it anytime soon. Hopefully, but yeah. Any questions that y'all have, or any video recommendations that you guys would like to see or want me to talk about, by all means, let me know down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you've only watched this one or whatever, you haven't seen all the other ones, go check out the little documentary that I did, kind of a few video series on when I put this car back together with no motor, no subframe. Well, subframe was kind of in it until I got home, but motor, trans, T-case, I put all that together, put it all in the car, yada yada yada, not knowing a damn thing that I was doing, so as far as that goes, just kind of figured it out along the way, and got it done. So I know my way around a tool. I'm not illiterate. I do industrial maintenance for a living. So, but anywho, that's all I got for this one. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'm gonna keep wiping this thing down because it looks good when it's clean and shiny, and I feel like that's because they polished it and ceramic coated it right before what happened to it happened to it. So I try to take care of this car, and I'm still gonna take care of it. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. Please make sure to go like, comment, and subscribe if you don't mind, because I would like to get this channel to where I need to get it to maybe help me with some car part stuff and building other cars, which would be cool. But thank you guys, appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.